Alright, hello guys. I'm just gonna make one more short video, I don't know if short, but video talking about like more Spirit Halloween things. Today I kind of just thought about an idea that might happen at Spirit. I'm hoping it does. You know, Jack Straw and Demonic Dahlia. Last year, I almost wonder if they're gonna make a clown version of that. I hope so. That would be really cool, because I know it would look cool. So hopefully that does happen. Anyways, so I've been trying to fix a lot of things. My room's a huge mess right now. Um, yeah, my Lunging Lily, I thought I had it fixed, but it stopped working right after the first activation. I think there's a gear popping out of place or something, or there's a missing gear tooth. I'm not sure. Resurrection Mary. I don't know what I'm gonna do to get her head working. I I could. I'm trying to think of a way I can rig her so her head will spin, but unless the only way I can see that is if I get another exorcist to use for parts, but I need another exorcist in general because mine doesn't even work anymore either. The gears are stripped in that one too. Replacing the split gear and the retracting wouldn't be that hard. I still have to do that on the vampire. I'm just worried about the vampire's wires pulling off because that happened the first time I did that at Donovan's house. And at least I had because my old lurching vampire's base, the board died, but the wires were still all intact, so I was able to use that as a guide. But I don't have that base anymore, or I do, but all the wires are pulled off that base now. So if those wires come off again, well, I guess Spirit of Halloween 9 can help me with that because he has one. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, also guys, be getting ready for a huge 3 hour long video coming up. It's a Spirit Halloween video. It's every video of like I did a long video of all of the times Spirit has had a graveyard or cemetery theme, or all tombstone or graveyard props, like all. That's why it's 3 hours. I showed all of 2009's series, all the pretty much. It's a lot of other people's. I mean, some of mine are in there, but I practically screen recorded all the videos on YouTube of Spirit, and so it's got 2009, 2010's graveyard, or cemetery, in 2011 cemetery, even 2012's farm, but the sides had those tombstones like chained to the grave and stuff. That's I included those things like that too. Like in 2013, I put in the zombie part, the pop-up zombie, because that was just a tiny little section of a little graveyard area, which was just 2 or 3 animatronics. There's the caretaker, that nun tombstone that talks, and then the pop-up zombie. And then 2014 there was only 2, and I included those in there, of course. I showed the 2015 Guardian, Pumpkin Guardian of the Grave. Like I said, all the tombstone props that have been made and that have been at Spirit. I even did some Party City ones from last year, like Lonely Laura and stuff. Because I don't know. It's always been one of my favorite themes that Spirit has ever done. I guess I have the most memories with the graveyard because that's what the theme they had when I started collecting Spirit. I mean, it was 2009 I started, and I got the entire graveyard theme, but there was only like 5 characters, so it wasn't a hard theme to, or it wasn't really a hard collection to gain. But then each year it got bigger, and then it started getting smaller again. Because 2012 they had like 4 or so, and then 2013 and 14 they had like 2 Tombstone animatronics. Then, and then let's see, I did the clock tower from 2016. I recorded all the tombstone props that were in that, because then again, it's just because it was in the clock tower, it's still graveyard props. It can be used in a graveyard. I mean, and then I even did the one from last year, uh um the graveyard ghoul. Yeah, I did that too. So like I said, it's all and there's even non-spirit Halloween props, even like thrashing zombie and stuff, because actually that was on Spirit's website in 2010, and technically that is a graveyard prop too. And obviously, if it was in stores, it would have been in the graveyard theme. And even Darely Departed, even though she was never in stores, she was on Spirit's website back then. So I just wanted to let you know that's coming up. I don't own most of the content, so don't get mad at me. I just really loved Spirit that year, and I just decided to do a video. If there's someone else out there that loves those themes just as much as I do, there you go. There's 3 hours of it that's coming up. It's not even just videos at the store. It's other people, like the props themselves that other people own, like some of mine even, like some when they used to be in my Halloween room, so a little bit, or out when I had all of the graveyard ones outside, or just it's the props themselves too, which is also what makes it a lot longer. I basically every video of Guardian of the Grave is in there, but it's towards the end. I made sure to, so it wouldn't get so boring. I made sure to put all the Spirit store ones first, and then the personal owned ones last. And it jumps around. It's not in any specific order. It starts from it go 2010, 2009, 2010, and 2011. They jump around all over the place. They're not in any kind of order. So, anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. But yeah. So this insane serial killer, I hot glued the piece. I don't know if I wonder if it looks like it's hot glued in place. It looks like it's not. I'm sure it'll break off right as soon as I attach the body because it's so heavy weighted. But let's see, is this connect? This is plugged in. Let's try this. Or is that? Oh, that's why. I still have to put a new relay switch in Betty's head. Okay, see, it's not. This one's not designed like Death Row Thrashing Clown because this was made before their time. This is the 2009 or 2010 model. See, it has the old step pad harness because this prop originally came out in 2009, and it was sold at like Halloween Express or whatever. But they did remakes of it. They did make it after Death Row 2. They did another recent release of it, which probably has the updated parts. But look, it literally has a Rising from the Grave pole on it, but the part that breaks is here. And again, the Thrashing Clown and Death Row, they're different. They're not like this. They're better built, actually. Then I hot glued Bloodthirsty Betty's wire harness so the wires actually won't come off. Look, this is how Crazy Create should have done it from the start. Do you see that? Probably not, because my front camera's not as good. Remember, before it didn't even have hot glue on the wires. They just had hot glue right here, and it wasn't even holding anything. That's how Crazy Create glues their themes. Well, don't even use glue. There's no point. It's not doing anything. I actually put glue all around it, though, now. I mean, it's better than what Crazy Create did. I gotta get a new motor mechanism thing for that. Again, I'll get her working. If I can't even fix her mechanism, she has the same as a jumping spider. I'll just have to buy another jumping spider or something. This one, I can't get it apart because these bolts won't come out. I can't get them out. And then there's that, because I was originally going to put this mechanism in there. I wasn't even going to open that mechanism. I was just going to do a swap, but since I couldn't get the bolts out, and this motor in this one is really, really hot glued in there. Wild Witch. I hope I can still get a new one sometime because I mean, I don't know. I could get a new outfit for her, but what kind of outfit would I get for her? I don't want one that looks so cheesy, and most of it's not going to be the right size. And of course, the poles are not going to be able to be there because it's all broken. I haven't used the Evil Cauldron Witch for a while. The Life-Size Dancing Santa has some parts missing. I still have to get a new motor in the head turning. That's why it's taken apart again because it died. This one's head re-shattered off again because it still was yellowed. And this is a little bit different from the other ones. There's a pin that goes through it that holds it in place. So yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I also did the same with the spider. I hot glued it. I don't think it'll hold for long. I don't know if it'll work at all even, but I tried to get it as good as I could. According to Jaden, the Party City version was made. That's another thing I was going to talk about. Party City made their version better. Well, It's still made by Tekky Toys. They didn't actually make it. Tekky made it better because it was a newer model. But I don't think it jumps out as far because I was comparing videos and it doesn't look like it jumps out as far. Let's see what happens when I hold it. See, it's so, oh, whoops, wait, it's so top heavy. Like, I mean, it's not heavy or anything. It's lightweighted, but for it to be broken right here and it goes all the way, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last. I don't know. I hopefully because Lucas's is broken too. They're both snapped in the same. So if any of you guys have the Spirit version, what I recommend you doing is always disconnect the body if you're gonna move the spider, if you're gonna store it away, because if you leave this on, it's gonna snap. Because I always transferred this thing around with the body attached, and I didn't think it was gonna affect it in any way, but it's a very fragile piece. For once, the whole mechanism and all that is built very well. Like, I don't think any of that really has issues. It's built really well, but this is made bad. Anyways, here's what I was gonna say. A lot of times when Spirit gets things, they get the first versions of the animatronics, the exclusives, but they always turn out to be faulty. But then some other store later in the future ends up getting the same identical animatronics, and they're made better. Like Attack Spider, Reaching Arm Tombstone, Lunging Pumpkin Carver. I feel like there was one other. They were all Spirit Halloween exclusives in 2016. But then they were at Party City, and the Party City versions were made better. Same thing happened with Sally. Jimmy made the Sally in 2018. Doesn't have an external speaker jack. The motor in the eyes is too powerful. It clicks loud. It buzzes loud because of how powerful the motor is. It breaks the springs on the eyes because it's too powerful. Well, Home Depot last year in 2019 got an improved version that has the correct voltage motor. It has an external speaker jack so you can make it sound better. And it's sad because I don't think it's Spirit's fault, but they get the first versions, and the sad thing is they get the faulty versions, and that gives Spirit a bad reputation. It's like sometimes it makes people think that they're purposely making them cheaper than the other places, but it's the companies because they don't know the first time how well it's going to do. I mean, at least Tekky Toys anyways improves their stuff always. I mean, look at the first Lurching Vampire. That was faulty as hell. The poles broke after 4 activations if you didn't have the back cable connected. Because that happened in my video. He had just put it out and it snapped on the 4th activation. The first Demonica, it was always breaking. The second version of Demonica almost never didn't break nearly as much. This Lurching Vampire, the 2011 Lurching Vampire didn't have problems until now because now it's old, almost 10 years now, which is about the average age something will wear out from just sitting there, not even being used. But Tekky really did step up their game and improve those for Spirit the next year. And Jemmy did improve Sally, but why she wasn't at Spirit that year, I don't know. I don't know how Spirit loses their licensing to this stuff, because almost all Tekky animatronics were exclusive at Spirit at one point, but then they become unexclusive, and then they're at Home Depot or Party America or Party City. I mean, I don't know how Spirit loses the license or because if they're exclusive, I don't know how they can do that. I mean, the first year Harvester, Creepy Caretaker, and Jumping Spider came out, they actually were not exclusives either, but the next years they were. And Jumping Spider is not exclusive again, but it was exclusive in 2012, 2013, 2014, and I think 2015, and then after that they started becoming non-exclusive again. Same with Creepy Caretaker. The first year, he actually came out in 2010. He was made different. He was online only at Spirit, and he was sold on other online places. But the next year, 2011, 12, and 13, he was at Spirit all 3 of those years, and I believe he was exclusive those years. Then he got discontinued. Then he came back in 2018, sold at Party City, and then last year at Menards. Same thing with the Harvester. The first year he was not exclusive. 2011, he was $90 original price. Then 2012 he was exclusive and he was $100. 2013 he was online only, and I don't know if he was exclusive that year. He was back in stores again in 2014, and he was $120 then. They really jumped his price up. And then he was at Home Depot in 2016, I believe. Maybe 2017, I'm not sure. But like, that's my point. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how they get exclusive and then it just ends up being somewhere else later. I don't know how Spirit lost the licensing to the Nightmare Before Christmas characters, because Jack Skellington was originally exclusive to Spirit Halloween, and now he's everywhere. He was on last year. He was on Bed Bath and Beyond, Home Depot, Menards. He's everywhere now. Another thing is, it's pretty obvious that Party City and Spirit Halloween really try to compete with each other. I mean, like, really. Look, they both had a rocking horse. Spirit Halloween that had the Seasonal Visions rocking horse dolly, and then Party City had the Tekky Toys one on the rocking horse. I almost wonder sometimes it could have, when these were made, it could have been the company. See, Spirit tells the companies what they want to be made, but see, like Tekky could have sold Tekky's version, but they must have liked Seasonal Visions more, because they're not going to pick both versions. They're going to pick the version they like the most. Like, they could be like, I want a clown or something, and all the companies will make a clown, and they'll pick whatever one they think is the coolest. Like that 2013 when they had the clown train. I'm talking about that unreleased Jemmy life-size clown. That we think that the Wacky-Mo clown is what canceled the Jemmy one from being produced. Because think about it, they're both cartoony-ish looking kind of clowns, very colorful, and they could have been, a cartoony, colorful clown. Then Seasonal Visions made Wacky Mole, and Jimmy made that clown, and they're like, well, we like Wacky Mole, so we'll do that one. So that's basically kind of how it goes, I guess. So basically, all the companies can make their own version. YJ could have made the clown, or tried to make a clown, or they could have made a rocking horse doll or something like that. But again, Spirit is only going to choose one from one company. Jimmy could have made it. I mean, but again, but some companies will be like, nah, we don't want to make that. So sometimes only two different companies make it, and then they'll be like, okay. So, but anyways, yeah, no, it's pretty obvious that Party City and Spirit compete. And then again, right after the year Spirit had all those Tekky Toys 2016 props, they become a Party City exclusive, and they're all the Tekky props that were at Spirit the previous year as an exclusive are now Party City exclusives. I bet Spirit was pissed off about that. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Spirit doesn't do a lot with Tekky anymore. Like, look at Rusty. I mean, back then Tekky used to take over Spirit Halloween. Like, it used to be nothing but Tekky. I mean, all those years from 2009 they kind of started. They had that graveyard theme, but 2010 all the way through 2014 they had a bunch of Tekky stuff. 2015 they didn't have a lot of Tekky, but they were still there. In 2016 they were still there, but 2017 that was the start of when they kind of they only had Scare Clown and Levitator as new ones, and Scarecrow. But I think Scarecrow is going to be at Spirit every year now, like the Jumping Spider. Then 2018, I don't think we got a new Tekky prop in 2018. Oh, Scare Witch. And then last year was Rusty. Watch, Spirit is going to lose the exclusive to Rusty now. That soon. I know Tekky made the pumpkin version with the shovel now, which I'm probably going to get that because it's pretty cool. But I bet Rusty will soon, being its Tekky, will be available somewhere else, because it seems like that's what Tekky does. It's like, even the Jumping Dog, he was exclusive, and now he's been selling on other sites for years now. But I don't know. The thing is, I remember all the rumors in 2015 that Spirit didn't want Tekky anymore because of how faulty they were. But the thing that makes it hard to believe that now is because Crazy Create, they're pretty faulty. They're almost, I mean, look, the Pennywise last year, and just a few other Crazy Create things that seem to always have issues. I don't know if Spirit is trying to get them to step up their game either, because I mean, Tekky actually listened and did something about it. I mean, again, this is from Donovan, but like Tekky and Crazy Crate used to kind of be together, and that's why we didn't see any props from Crazy Crate until 2015, because that's when Tekky started trying to improve. Because they want to, even Tekky wanted to do better. It was the factory and stuff that they were with that they said the guy there is kind of sketchy and he just doesn't care about the quality. The detailing on the animatronics is great, but the quality is terrible. And Tekky kind of went away from that. Maybe that's why we don't see some of their older designs like Gravedigger and stuff. I don't know, but he could easily come back because they did remake the Lemurian Zombie Boy. And they just made Lonely Laura last year, so that just proves that they can still make Demonica because she had a turning head, just like Demonica. And they still make that same rising mechanism, which is on Creepy Caretaker and the Toy Box, so they definitely can still make Demonica. That's another one. Demonica, she was originally a Spirit exclusive, but guess what? She was 2013 or 14, she was on Kmart's website, Halloween Asylum's website. She was no longer a Spirit exclusive later on either. Another thing Donovan said is that Tekky was the reason why the two different Demonicas are different colors, the 2010 and 2011, was because the Tekky toys wanted it to be gray, but Spirit Halloween wanted it to be purple. That's why the second one was purple. And another thing that I learned from Donovan because he talked to those guys, um, the Jumping Spider was actually close to not being released because Spirit Halloween thought it looked almost too cheesy. But guess what? It's one of their biggest sellers now, and they have it every year. Originally a $70 prop, then it went to $80, and now it's always $40 or $50 when the store's open. But then it jumps up to $90 now, but they use weak ass springs now. Tekky, that's the one thing Tekky could easily make stronger springs, but they just don't. It's kind of sad. But it's because of the quantity they make. Back then, the quantity wasn't as large, but now every store gets like 100 every time they open. And we actually sell completely out by the end of the season. There's never a season where we have any left, even though we get more than 50. Yeah, another thing about Attack Spider is that I didn't like how they displayed it in 2016. I didn't like how they put it on top of the clock tower where you can't even like see it. It just is up here and it just flies out. I mean, that's why he didn't sell well at Spirit that year, and that's why. Like ours, we didn't have the ceiling height to make the clock tower full, so we actually had it on the floor level, which I had it by the swinging scarecrow at first, and it didn't do too well there. But later, there was a time in the season where the swinging skeleton was the tree fell over and it busted, so we had to remove